Hey guys, welcome back to AutoDream Tech Tips, and today we're going to show you how to properly torque your rod bolts. So what you're going to need is an aluminum rod vise so you can clamp your rod without damaging it. You're going to need your ARP rod bolt stretch gauge, whatever rod you'll be using. Your spec sheet is going to either require ARP lube or engine oil, so we'll go through that later. You're going to need a well-known torque wrench and a dial caliper to identify which bolt you have if you're not sure. And last but not least, you need your spec sheet. First things first, you're going to identify which rod bolt you have. This is an ARP 2000. So there's a couple of spots you want to measure the bolt to find out exactly which one you have. The first one is diameter. So that's 3/8 of an inch. And the next measurement is under head length. So you're going to stick this under the head and find out the length. That's 1.5 inch bolt. So after you've measured your bolt, you're going to find it on your spec sheet. It was an ARP 2000, 3/8 diameter, 1.5 inch under head length. So here it is. You're going to try and reach 5.8 to 6.2 thou stretch, and they recommend 60 foot-pounds and 30 weight engine oil. So these bolts here, you'll notice there's a recessed area on both ends. This allows you to clamp it in your ARP stretch gauge. It'll hang in there. Once you got it in, you zero out your gauge, and once you torque it, you will actually read how much you stretched. So the reason why we use 2 ARP gauges here at AutoDream is because none of these bolts from factory are going to be exactly the same length. And since you want to seat the cap, you need to snug both bolts down a bit before torquing it down, which makes it harder to zero out your second bolt. And it kind of just makes it easier on me when I'm installing these things. I won't have to zero out one bolt and then torque it down and then zero out the other one, torque it down. So I'm basically going to be zeroing out 2 gauges for my A and my B bolt. So I'm going to put this one in there, zero it out at free length. There you go. And then I'm going to take my B gauge, zero this one out. There you go. Then I'm going to put this in my rod vise. Make sure you grab the cap as well, not just this end, but you want to grab the cap as well. Now this spec sheet recommended 30 weight oil. That's what they torqued it at to get these readings. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You're going to want to lube the mating surface here as well, and under this bolt here. Don't be shy with the oil, put lots. I'm going to put that in and do the same thing with the other bolt. So now that we're ready, we're going to go ahead and torque it to 60 foot-pounds is what the spec sheet said, and we're going to see how much stretch we gain from that. So what I do is I'll just tighten them up, snug them a little bit first. You don't want to be torquing one to 60 and having the other one completely free length. Snug them up, then you're good for 60 foot-pounds. And we're going to be checking our stretch. So we've got our A gauge and our B gauge. We're going to check stretch on the A bolt. So it has stretched 5.9 thou. And our B bolt has stretched 6 thou. So according to our spec sheet here, we're pretty much dead in the middle. And that's where we're going to be setting our torque wrench at on this one, 60 foot-pounds when we're installing it in our engine, and we'll be right in spec for a stretch. So if you're a mechanic or your engine builder does not have one of these guys kicking around this shop, you might want to talk to him, ask him what the deal is, or possibly even go somewhere else. I've had a couple instances where I did not attain the stretch I needed on the vise, and I had to bump up the torque wrench about 10 foot-pounds to get there. And yeah, that's pretty important. You don't want a rod to fail just from improper torquing. I'm going to read you a little note that Manly left us. So, proper fastener installation will prevent rod failure. 90% of all rod failure are due to incorrect fastener installation and or maintenance. So basically, don't mess around, use the stretch value and make sure you're good to go. So to properly install your rods in your engine, you're going to need your aluminum rod vise. You're going to need your rods and hardware, depending on which one you use, obviously. Your rod bolt stretch gauge, the proper lubricant, a well-known good torque wrench, a dial caliper if you don't know what kind of bolt you're dealing with, and your spec sheet. Hopefully this video has helped you properly install them. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment if you like, and we'll see you next time.